Hello and welcome to Paul's Spare Time. How are you doing today? We're going to be continuing our nickel series, our Buffalo nickel series, one of my favorite coins, Buffalo nickels, minted 1913 to 1918. I'm sorry, 1913 to 1938, 64 coin set. And we have purchased, let me see if I can switch this over, a bunch of Buffalo nickels that are supposed to be dateless. Most of them are showing up dateless. And then we are restoring those using Nicodate. Except I have transferred mine over. Is that on the outside? How did I get on the outside? Transferred that over into a dropper so I can apply it better perhaps. We'll see about that. And then we're restoring the date, and if we get a restored date, if you can see that, 1913, we are putting them into our book. So trying to create a full collection of Buffalo nickels that have been date restored. And right now we're getting a lot of the newer ones. We have 22 of the 65 in the series. So as I go through this, we'll be plucking one out. We will be applying the Nicodate to it. We will be finding a nickel much like this one right here. Let me get my scope up. Where there is no date in the date field. Lost my toothpick. No date right here. Putting some chemicals on it, watching the date reappear. I'm going to try to film this a little differently today so that it won't be quite so long a video and I can do more coins, but we'll see how it goes. Save you some time. Will be the same amount of time for me. So I don't suppose I'll save any time, but maybe you all will. So let's be back in a minute and we'll Nicodate our first one. All right, we got our first one under there. Let me get the dropper. See if I can do this with the dropper today. Where's my light? Right there. See how this goes. We'll see how this goes. All right, it's on there. Not quite a large enough section to get the whole date. So we will take the toothpick, spread it out a little bit, try to keep it to the date field. Now let's see what of that shall restore. In starting, we could see none of the date. See if any of the date comes back. Here's where I'm going to pause and try to shorten. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll show this one as it happens. The others I'll pause. See if the date comes back. Sometimes it does. I think so far we have restored 36 of the 38 Buffalo nickels we have tried to restore a date on. And 2 we haven't been able to get a date back. But most of them we're going to be able to get a date back. Just have to see, and sometimes it takes multiple applications of the chemical. Sometimes the field is just gone. The Buffalo nickels were designed in a manner that they had a horrible time keeping the date on them. That's why the series only lasted the minimum 25 years and was replaced by the Jefferson nickel, but they are still one of my favorite coins. So are we seeing any date come back there? I'm not seeing much. I see a 5 down there, I think. You take that out there. I'll swirl it around in my, you take the water off because that chemical can be harmful to you. See if we got any kind of date coming back at all. I don't see anything. So let's give it another dose of the chemical. Let's see if any of the date comes back now. Usually you get something. I'm seeing something come up. You see the area that the date is coming back is up here. Looks like a 1-9. But I'm not sure. Sometimes it depends on where you put the light. Look at the 19. I can't tell. Just can't tell. We may get a date back, or we may not. It would help if I put it so you could see it. Sometimes you can see it better on the under the magnifying scope. Just not sure. Just not sure what that one is. We'll have to see. I'm sure this is the process through showing it live, and the other ones I will be cutting some of this out to come back to you with a restored date. You guys will have to let me know what you prefer on the viewing of this. I don't want to make the videos too long. Again, it's going to be the same to me, this is whether I'm filming it or not. And see what it is you want to watch. Hopefully you enjoy this series. Enjoy the Buffalo nickel. See if we can restore these dates. We're going to take a look at this one and see. I don't think we've got any kind of complete date back yet. Sometimes they come quick, sometimes they don't. I see a 1915, maybe 1916. We're going to give it one more drink of the chemical because it is continuing to come back, and see if we can't get that date restored. See if we can't get it to come back. I think it's a 1915 or a 1916. In our book, we need a 1915p, and we could always use a nicer version of any of the others. We have the 1916s. Seeing the 16 there. 16 or 15? Looks like a 15. I think that's a 1915 coming through. Y'all see it? Right there. 5. That's what it's looking like to me. We'll give it some time here and see. And we'll flip it over and look at the back and see if we got any kind of date on the back at all, or any kind of mint mark on the back at all. Some of these come right back. Some of them, they just don't. They're more damaged, they're harder to restore. You just never know. That is coming back though, it looks like. Like it's going to be a 1915, I think. I don't have a set amount of time I leave these on. I kind of go by what I'm seeing with my eyes. If you leave them on too long, you can eat the date off. That is going to be, it's not very nice, but that is a 1915. It is a 1915. See where the loop of the 5 stops at the bottom? So it's not a 1916, it is a 1915. It's not really nice enough. I'm looking for something nicer than that to restore for my book. And there is a D mint mark. So there's a 1915 D. We do have one of those in the book. So we're going to put that into the restored pile, but not going in the book. Let's get another one up here. I can see that date. I can see that date. Part of it at least, 1917. I don't really need to restore that one, but why not? That one should pop back very, very nicely because it was really readable to start with, so I have reduced the value of this one. 1917 in our book, we need a 17D. We've got a 17 and a 17S, but we should be able to restore this to a very nice readable date. Maybe move our stuff up just a little bit so we can get on that one over to the right. See the 1917's coming back very nicely. We ended up with just a skift of snow here in northwest Arkansas, but it is cold for us. Cold for us in the 20s. It does get colder than that here, but the wind feels much colder than that outside. All right, 1917, a very readable date. Let's check a mint mark situation here. I think we got a mint mark. I think we have an S mint mark. Let's give that a little touch of the juice. But I believe we're going to have a 1919 S mint mark. That's what I think. That S is going to pop back out. I can see something there. To make sure we don't go too long so it's not doesn't get worn off. But I think it's going to be a 1919S. That's what I think. And in our book, we have a 1919D. We do not have a 1919S. But this is a 1917, isn't it? Now that I'm remembering, we do have a 1917S. Is that mint mark getting any better or is it getting worse? I don't know. Let's see what has happened. Yeah, you can see it. It is a 1919S. Mint mark, you can't see it great, but it's definitely there. It's going to be a 1919S, so I'm going to put that in the slot, or 1917S. I keep saying 1919S, but it's a 1917S. And we will compare that to our current 1917S we got in the book and go from there. What do we got here on the next one? We got absolutely nothing. Let's see if we can't restore that nothing to something. That nothing to something. We're pretty much in the date field. Spread it around a little bit with my toothpick. See if we can come up with a date. And I'll be back as that clarifies. All right, as you can see, it's looking like we got a 1925 here that has come back pretty distinctly. And it is a 1925. Let's take a look at a mint mark. I'm not seeing any kind of mint mark. Let's give it a drink though and see if we can get a mint mark off of that. if we will not. Not seeing anything there. As far as the 1925 goes in our book, we have a 25S in our book right now. It's the only 25 we have in. I do not see a mint mark coming back there. So that's going to be a 1925P. No mint mark. 1925. So that's a 1925P that will fill a spot in our book that we did not have filled. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, we got green, we got all kinds of stuff. We got a partial date maybe. Let's see what we can come up with on this next one. We've got a lot to overcome here, it looks like. Like I spilled some stuff up where we didn't need it. Get that off of there. We will see if we can get a date back off of this, and we will be back. Well, I've tried this one 3 different times. I see a 1915, 1913. Not sure. Look at the reverse. Definitely not a type 1 1913. We're going to take that one and say non-restored. It's close. Maybe I could keep fighting with it. I might pull something off of it. If I had to guess, I'd say 1915. Here's another one. Go on to the next one. I see no date on this one. Let's see what we can end up with here. Maybe we can get a nice date off of this one. Do you see something coming back quickly? We'll leave this one here. Think of 1915. So it's looking like to me. That one's coming back pretty quickly. See that? Looking like a 1915. Pretty clearly a 1915. Let's see, 1915, we still need a 1915P. We still need a 1915P. We're going to let that chew on it a little while and see if we can't make it as clear as possible so it'll look good in our book. Amazing how some of them come right back. There was nothing there, and others, not so much. I think that's going to give us a nice readable date. Dip it in the water. A little swirl. Dry it off. Bring it back over. We have a very clear 1915. Look for a mint mark. I do not see a mint mark. I do see the possibility of a D down there. So we will see if anything pops up in the mint mark area. That, as usual, I missed a little bit to the right. The mint mark will be between the the E and the C. In 5 cents, if there is to be one. I don't think we're going to see anything there. Mint mark tends to come back really quickly if it's there. I'm not seeing anything. Let's give it a swipe. See what it looks like dried off. It looks like no mint mark. So that is going to be our 1915 P. And we happen to need that one in the book. That works out good for us. Let's see what we got next. Oh, we got one that looks like it's already restored, 1929. So we'll put that in the restored pile. The ones that have come with the date, we're putting those in a different book. This one, C5, be a 1915. We'll take a shot at restoring it. To 16. 1916 coming back clear, and in 1916 we have them all, but we could always stand an upgrade. But that one is a 1916 for sure. Like the ones that come back quick. That'll give us a nice readable date. Here's the 1916. Let's check a mint mark. No idea. So let's see if we can get something to pop up there in the date field. We'll be looking right around here. Between the E and the C down there. Right now it's a 1915 P unless it proves otherwise. Not seeing a mint mark come back. Let's give it a wipe. And that's going to be a 1915 P. So we will compare that with the 1915 P we just found. Got two of them. Next up, we've got no date. No date. See if we get something back off this one. $1913, maybe. Maybe a 1913 type 2, because in theory I've pulled all the 1913 type 1s unless I messed up. Me messing up, always a possibility, but that is going to be a 1913, I do believe. They did make a type 1 with raised ground and 1913 type 2 with flat ground on the reverse. And that is definitely a 1913. We need a 1913 D and S type 2s. Both low mintage. How readable that date is. Very clear through the liquid right now, but you never know once you get it dried off what it's going to look like. 1913, very clearly. Do we have a mint mark? Do not see a mint mark. But see if we can restore one. Boy, we got lots of stuff on there. That ought to do it. If there's going to be one there, that ought to do it. I don't think we're going to have a mint mark. Not seeing anything just jump out at us. Although there may be an S down there. An S may be coming. An S may be coming. You see it? Do you see it? Right down there? We might have a 1913. Yeah, we do. We most certainly do have a 1913 S popping back out. That is going to be a 1913 S. That is flat ground. Be a 1913 S type 2. Clear it off. How good you can see that S now. It's there. You can certainly see the S. The S is right there. 1913 Type 2S, we do need only a mintage of 1.29 million. Gotta like that. Let's find another one. Let's find another one. No date. Let that cook for a minute and be back to show you if date pops up. See the date coming. It's looking like a 1935, maybe? Yeah, 1935. I know we don't have any that late. So it'd definitely be one we need for the book. Definitely a 1930. Could be a 36. Could be a 36. Swish it off. This will be the most recent one we have redated. Is it a 35? It's a 36. It is a 1936, I believe. I go with the 1936. Check it for a mint mark. We got a mint mark. 1936D mint mark. 36D mint mark. 24 million 36Ds minted. Filling the spot in our book. I'm liking that. I'm sure this process will slow down after we get a lot of the hose filled, but good to have an older date one too. All right, let's get that back. Another no date buffalo. See what comes out of this one. It's coming quick. I'll leave it here. Something's coming quick. I'm just going to pause, try to save you some viewing minutes. Another teens, I think, maybe in 1918. $1916 or 15. We'll let it percolate. $1916 it is. We are full on 1916s, but we could always upgrade it. It's coming back nicely. Clean it off. See how readable that is. Looks like it's going to be nice and readable. And it is 1916. Check a mint mark. We've got a mint mark. We've got a 1916S. 1916S. Very clear. I will check that versus our current 1916S, and we will see which one is better. On to the next one. We got no date. See what pops up. Back in a second. Taking a while on this one. It's possible it's a 1915. That 15 looks weird. But that's what it's looking like as a 1915. Wash him off. Is a 1915. It's a 1915S. So I will check our current 1915S against that one to see if that's any nicer. Let's go to the next coin. No date. Coming back very quickly, 1916. I thought I might see something there. 1916, fast restoration. Again, I purchased all these as dateless buffalo nickels, so I do have a readable date. Boy, that one's coming in great. Let it drink for a while and see how good we can make this one. Everyone's having a nice Monday morning. Holidays are now over. Back to the real world, I suppose. Oh, what a restored date. Very nice. Very nice 1916. Very nice 1916. About a mint mark. I do not see a mint mark. Don't think there's going to be a mint mark, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I almost got it in the right place that time. Let's see if a mint mark shows up. I think that's a bubble, not a letter there. But it's right over the field we need to see. Seeing anything? Let's clean it off. Can't even tell we were there. I do not see a mint mark. So that is going to be a very nice 1916P. We'll put that with our other 16Ps and see if it's better than what we got. Definitely no date. Coming back quick, 1917. Coming back quick. (1917), we have 17 PDNS, but we could always use an upgrader. This one's going to have a very nice date on it. Stuff is called Nicodate. I buy mine on Amazon or eBay for the bottle. Bottle goes a long, long ways. I'm doing 700 coins, so I may finally start going through some, but I'm on my first bottle from 5 years ago. Got a very clear, readable date here. Oh yeah, nice 1917, and a mint mark situation, maybe a mint mark there, maybe a mint mark there. Let's see if something pops up. Well, there's something there. Maybe it's just damage. May just be damage, I can't tell. Could be a letter there. Not sure. Not sure. Looks too high. Something there. Let's see what it was. Let's see what it was. Yeah, we got a 1917. And we have something in the wrong place. Whatever that is not in the right place to be a mint mark. So that is going to be, does look like an S trying to pop up there, but it should be lower than that. I'm going to go with the 1917P on this one. Yeah, I've looked up where that mint mark should be, and what's showing up is not in the right location for a mint mark, so we're going with the 1917P. Another one here without a date. Let's see what we can do to restore it. Well, we could do a lot better if I actually hit the date field. Looks like that one's going to take a minute, so we'll be back in a minute. Take a peek at it. It's a lot of damage, but it looks like it might be coming up 1918 or 1919. I think in 1918, but I'm not 1,000% sure. Let it cook. We do have all three 1918s. And we're fighting with this one. If I had to guess, I'm saying 18. Let's see what it looks like out of the juice. Yeah, 1918. 1918 and not very readable at that. We do have a mint mark. We do have a mint mark. I probably missed the field. I did. I think it's D. It is a D. Won't leave that on very long. 1918 D. Too bad that front's not better, because that reverse got a pretty good mint mark on it. There is the mint mark. We clearly see the D there. Top half of it at least. And you can kind of tell it's a 1918. You can tell it under the juice a lot better, so I'll put that 1918D and check it. We'll do one more in this video, and then we'll do a recap. Dateless field. See if we can get anything to come back on that one. I think I'm seeing a 20-something coming back. $26, $28, probably a 26, I believe. Don't think we have any 1926s yet. We do not. Well, now it's starting to look like a 28 maybe. Maybe a 23. Maybe a 23. Can't tell. I'll have to go look at the fonts and see. Clean it up. $1928. I believe. Well, does that touch? I think it does. Pretty sure that's an 8. Back in a second. We look it up. All right, very definitely a 1928. See what we got in the mint mark. Maybe something there. Let's see if we can restore it. See if we can bring anything back in the mint mark field. Could be a 28p. And we do need a 1928p, 23.4 million minted. Not seeing anything jumping off the page at me. It's going to be a 1928p. And again, we do need that one in our book. So that's a good thing. So let's do a little recap here. We have a new 1913S, a new 1915, a new 1917, a new 1925, a new 1928, and a new 1936. So we have 6 new additions to the book. 6 new additions to the book. So that is going to give us 28 out of the 64 or 65 that we have. We also have 7, 8, 9 of 10 we were able to get a date on. So that is 45 out of 48 that we have got a date on. So the book moves on. So I hope you're enjoying this. I'll get these in the book. I'll do the comparisons. And thanks for joining us. And this was episode 5. We'll be back with episode 6. Please leave a comment. Let me know if you're enjoying this and what I can do different. Thanks a lot. I'll see y'all again soon when Pa has more spare time.